Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the secret, or not, it's not even a secret, but like the truth behind making clean drums and like having a clean sounding mix. Just having beats that grab people's attention and like the thing is, two different producers can make the same beat, but if like the drums aren't hitting, then you know it's not going to grab your attention. It just sounds flat. So I'm going to kind of dive into that today for you guys, whilst obviously making a beat, and I kind of narrate as I'm going along. Alright, so I'm just kicking things off like standard, put a melody in, nice little chord progression, and just get something working with it really. Hey. Little counter melody. Alright. This is a sick plugin. I never realized that this was a stock plugin. Little bass guitar. Some of the keys, but I'll fix them. Like putting like a massive reverb on piano melodies just gives it a real nice like spacey vibe. Okay. I'm just fast forwarding through this because like I want to get straight on with the drums and show you guys exactly what I mean by, you know, how to get them sounding dope. So. Alright then, let's do these drums. Alright, now the first thing that I see a lot of like producers struggle with, and I get questioned about this all the time, and it's like what do I do to mix things in? How do I make the drums sort of sit on top of the mix? Like honestly, like you probably heard this advice so many of the times, like, you know, go on YouTube and check tutorials, listen to all the other stuff that I've said. And people say like you need to EQ, you need to compress, you need to add distortion, all that kind of stuff. Yes, you do, but you need to go into that with like a certain type of mindset. And that mindset is, if you're going to affect any sound, with the drums especially, then you're either going to add to it or you're going to take away from it. There's never going to be, certain things where you're going to just not do anything to it. It's the same in anything. Like, you're either going to add to it, you're going to either make it better or make it worse. And the problem lies where you use trash samples to begin with. So you're using like weak drums, really like low quality drum samples to begin with. And then you think that you can clean it all up in the mix. When that's not the case, you really need to find good samples to begin with and then add real small minor tweaks to them in the post mix if necessary, to then bring them further out. It's not a case of like using any random sample and then fixing it in the mix, because that's not how it works. Like, you'll soon realize this, like the longer you produce and like the more your ear sort of gets attuned to what sounds good and what doesn't. And you'll hear every producer say it, but until you fully understand it, until you fully really, use sounds that are good, like just genuinely good sounds, and you understand like the sound design of all of it, which just takes time, it takes reps. Then until you realize all of that, then you just need to put in the reps basically, and it basically just comes down to figuring out what sounds good and what sounds good and what will sound good and sit on top of the mix in terms of like the sound of the drums. The key thing is to maybe watch some YouTube tutorials or search for the best drum kits that you can find, invest a little bit of money into a drum kit and just get going with that. That's the best place to start, is just get yourself a real solid drum kit so that you don't have to do too much to it further on down the line. Another thing that I want to point out as well is, like, if you look at the hi-hats that I'm putting in, they're stupidly simple. Like, the more memorable the hi-hat pattern, the drums and the melody in general, the better the beat's going to be. And if you see here, I've just played with that out knob just above the sample, the waveform. If you turn that up, it's going to shorten the sample, so it makes it a lot more punchier. Just a little side tip. What I like to do is open up every sound that I think I want to put in the beat. Just get them all loaded up into the pattern maker so I don't have to keep listening to the beat and trying to find the right sound for it. Just do it all at once and then I'm free to start laying the drums in. subscribe. Now another thing that I don't see enough with like, or I don't hear enough, especially when I do these like beat critique videos and like these feedback videos where I give you guys like advice on beats and stuff, is I don't hear like enough sounds that are layered. So like take a look at my hi-hats. Like I've actually put 2 hi-hats in this beat, just duplicated the type of pattern, but like the fact that I've stacked them kind of fattens out that sound. It makes it sound like it's just 1 hi-hat, but in fact there's 2 hi-hats sat on top of each other, and it just sort of, it helps fill out the beat, especially when you've got beat sounds that are really thin. Like for example this hi-hat, super thin, but it's nice and like sharp, and that's what I wanted. Like it's one of those sounds that kind of cuts through the mix. But to fill it out, I've added on this other hi-hat. You know, it's only subtle, but like these things do make a difference to the ear. Like you don't notice them, but when they're in the beat and they're there, they make a huge difference. So like that's another thing, is just stacking sounds on top of each other if they're not like coming through as well as you want them. If you still like the sound, you want to keep that sound in it, keep the sound in it, but add another sound to it. Just to add to that, what you can also do is layer, you know, kicks with 808s. You can also layer hi-hats with open hats. It doesn't have to be the same sound to bring it further out. You can mix and match sounds to give it a different vibe. Okay, I think I've pretty much finished with that beat, but like I said during the video, it's super important that you find the right sounds first. Can't stress that enough. That's probably the most important step. If you forget that step, then mixing can maybe fix some issues with the sounds that you're using, but it's not gonna work any wonders with the beat in general. So make sure you're using good sounding samples first, and trust me, it'll do you a world of favors. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video. Hit that bell, and I will see you next time.